about how rare the ancient temperate rainforests are. Prior to the very first ancient tree being cut down here in British Columbia, these forests represented only 0.03 of the planet's land base. We are talking about one of the most rare ecosystems on the face of the earth. An ecosystem that is just teeming with plant biomass. An ecosystem that has been identified by scientists as storing more carbon dioxide than any other ecosystem on Earth. So my question is, how is it that in a climate emergency that the provincial government, who has declared a climate emergency, will continue to destroy the most important carbon sinks on Earth? We have a forest policy that doesn't recognize the climate crisis. We have a climate policy that doesn't recognize the crisis in our woods. The government has deliberately disconnected the dots. Our Minister of Environment and Climate Change Strategy, George Heyman, has been rendered completely impotent by the resource extraction agenda of the BC NDP.
Nature Decimation Party.
The Nature Decimation Party. We are here today to say that we do not believe that it is conscionable for the government to stand on the sidelines while the law is being used to arrest and criminalize forest defenders on Pacheedaht territory. We need laws to protect these sacred, ancient, temperate rainforests, not laws to criminalize and prosecute those of us who are standing up to protect them. In British Columbia, we have no laws to protect the forest. In British Columbia, we have no laws to protect biodiversity. In British Columbia, we have no laws to protect endangered species. In British Columbia, we have no laws to protect salmon watersheds. In British Columbia, we have no laws to protect our climate future. And that is why conscientious citizens have to risk arrest to do the job that government is hired to do for us. It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. I am 58 years old. I am tired of this. Are y'all getting tired of this? No injunction for forest destruction. 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 Okay, it's too early for that. We will not back down. We will not let an unjust legal order from the colonial court to put fear into us so that we will stand aside and let the forest that we have been defending for the last 6 months be needlessly logged by Teal Jones. We are fully prepared for a protracted civil disobedience struggle on Pacheedaht territory, and our blockades are at the very moment being reinforced on the land at Ferry Creek and elsewhere on TFL 46. We have 10,000 years of natural evolution on our side. So what today we are dealing with is the failure of a government to deliver on its own election promises. That a mere 10 days before the last provincial election, John Horgan stood before the voting citizens of BC and he said that he would protect old-growth forests. He said that he would implement all 14 of the recommendations of the Old Growth Strategy Review and that action would be taken within 6 months. We are exactly 6 months from that time and not a single tree has been protected. We are putting the brakes on the industrial status quo that daily lays waste to the equivalent of 34 soccer fields of irreplaceable old-growth forests on Vancouver Island alone. I don't throw this word around lightly because I myself am a descendant of survivors of genocide. But what we are witnessing today is a continuation of a long-standing campaign of genocide on Indigenous peoples and Indigenous peoples' lands here for the sake of resource extraction. That is the truth. If children were kidnapped and thrown into residential schools and have the languages ripped from their throats, if people were confined to outdoor prisons on reservations where they were displaced and dispossessed of their lands, it was for what we are fighting against today. Because it's always been about resource extraction. That's the very raison d'etre of so-called Canada, is to come and to reap and to pillage and to do what Bill the other day on Facebook described as colonial savagery. That's what it is. Colonial savagery. The normalized, routinized violence on the natural world in the name of jobs and the name of economic development. And what we're here to say today is that no longer cuts it. It no longer cuts it because we are in a climate emergency. And climate scientists have given us no more than 10 years to dramatically reduce our carbon footprint by over 50% or face catastrophic climate breakdown. These forests play a critical role in buffering us against runaway climate change. And so I'm really proud to be part of the Rainforest Flying Squad.